Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have an absolutely killer episode today. We're going to talk about some big topics, but I'm a little bit tired. I only slept for like 3 hours because last night I was staying up really late waiting for Santa Claus to come. And then, silly me, I realized it's fucking April and Santa's not coming for 8 months. So that's on me, I guess. That was fucking retarded. But nonetheless, I'm here a little bit tired. Let's get into this episode. That is not why I didn't sleep last night, but whatever. You're never going to know. You're going to have to think about it and talk about it in the comments. So, one of my coaching clients, I'll give a little bit of backstory and I'm going to keep him anonymous and private and all of that. And, I've asked him if he's cool with me posting this, but he went through a sort of messy divorce with his ex and they have kids together. And it looks like they both tried to do their best, but she felt a lot of emotions and she was struggling with her own mental health and all sorts of stuff like that. And long story short, he has full custody of the children and she's sort of out of their life. But every now and then she will sort of get back in contact. And it's very clear that she's feeling a lot of pain. She's often not particularly kind with the things that she says to my, male coaching client. But she's doing her best. We can have compassion for her and put some healthy boundaries in place. And he's done that. He has full custody, blah, blah, blah. And so it is very tempting in a situation like that. And I'm leaving out a lot of the details in fairness to her and in fairness to him. But it would be very tempting in a situation like this to just point at one person and, it would be tempting to point at her and just be like, she's being unkind. She's being a bitch. She doesn't care about him. She doesn't care about the kids. Like, be very easy to point at someone and be like, you're the bad person. And again, there's extra details that I'm going to leave out for, politeness, being kind. But there's extra details in there. And it would be very tempting to point at one person and be like, she's the problem. She's the bad person. I did nothing wrong. She's bad. And my client could feel little bits of that. And he's a very kind, compassionate, loving person. And I think he doesn't want to feel like that. And he was also kind of worried, as I'm sure you can imagine, what if I just get with another woman and she just hurts me as well? What if the next woman that I find is not any more peaceful or loving or any of that? And what if she has some mental issues and oh my God, I just fall straight into the exact same situation? And I think that's a very common thing after a breakup, right? Like after a divorce or a breakup or a relationship ending, it's very tempting to go, oh my God, I made a mistake. I'm going to carry that baggage around with me. And what if I find someone like that again? Oh my God, it will be awful. And it feels like you're a victim almost. Like, I can't help it. Fuck, like, how did this happen? I can't believe I met someone like that. I'm a victim. I hope it doesn't happen again. And so I said to him, what might really help you, my brother, is if you sit down and write a list of things that you are grateful to her for, like things she helped you realize. And what might help you even more is to take a little bit of ownership in this. And rather than feeling like a victim and going, oh my God, I don't know how, this could have happened. Oh my God, what if I find someone like her again? What if I'm not happy? Oh my God, what if this keeps happening? Instead, take some ownership and say, what can I do better for next time? Or what could I have done better with her? And not in a way of like blaming yourself and being like, oh my God, I have regrets. I should have done better. I made these mistakes. No, 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 no. This is about empowerment and ownership and saying, what can I do going forward? So with the next woman, how can I improve a little bit? How can I treat her with more compassion, for instance? How could I be better at sex? How could I be a more masculine, independent person who looks after himself and doesn't, feel like a victim? What do I need to do to move a little bit further or closer to happiness with the next relationship? In other words, what part of this am I going to take ownership of? Because there's lots that I can point at her and say, she should have done this better. She should have done this better. And my client isn't doing that too much, but like that's going to be tempting in a messy divorce, right? She should have done this better. She did this wrong. This is bad. But can I not point the finger, but can I look in the mirror and look back at myself and say like, okay, she was a human being. She was just trying to do her best. I'm a human being. I was trying to do my best. What can I do a little bit better? What could I have done or what can I do next time to improve things? And so he wrote this incredibly beautiful list of all the ways that he can be empowered to go out there and find a healthier relationship, someone who clicks with him a bit better, someone who will be kinder to him, or the sex will be better, or any of that. And what can he do to make that happen? And so I'm going to share this list with you. Again, I have his permission because these are beautiful. And again, I am going to say this again. If any of you do the same thing, and if any of you are holding on to hurt or pain from an ex relationship, like an old relationship that broke up, I would absolutely do something like this. Like, rather than sitting there and feeling like a victim and going, it's not fair, like we broke up, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Say, okay, what can I do better next time? Or what did I learn? Like, what am I grateful to this person for? How did they teach me? What could I do better going forward? How can I be more of my ideal self? So here are some of the things that he learned, or things that he might do differently, in the future. And that was the point of this. It wasn't to blame himself. So I might put a limit to alcohol, or to the amount of alcohol intake, and weed smoking. Wow, what a beautiful ownership. And so already, right off the bat, we're immediately jumping straight into self-ownership and like owning our own shit and self-empowerment, I guess you would say. And rather than saying, I had to drink because she had mental health issues and it was hard to be around her. It's like, no, I chose to drink. Okay, what can I do instead? I chose to drink because that helped me get through some of the fights and the arguments and the stress and just daily life and all of that. And alcohol feels good, so does weed. Nothing wrong with them, in moderation and all of that. But is there something healthier I could do instead? Is there something that doesn't come with consequences that I don't want? Is there something that isn't addictive? And so you could play around with that. Like, on the first thing he's written here, this could be enough to change your entire life right there. If you just leave a relationship and you have an idea in your head of like, man, maybe I could smoke a bit less weed next time, or maybe just like in my life right now, I could cut down my weed and drink a bit less. Bro, that's life changing immediately. Like, what a blessing. So on the first dot point, this ex-wife of his has already given him an incredible, beautiful gift of like self-reflection of like, hey, maybe drink a bit less and smoke weed less. And that's come from him, not her. That's when it's really powerful. Because if someone else just says, you drink too much, you're going to be like, fuck you, no, I don't. But if you can sit with this stuff and say, what have I learned from my ex? What have I learned from my relationship, breaking up or falling apart, or a loved one dying, or, losing a job, or that girl that you really like says, no, thank you, I'm not interested. What can I learn from that? And if you can learn something beautiful like that, my God, man, the world really opens up for you, because then everyone and everything becomes a learning experience for you, a teaching moment for you. There are no, bad breakups if you're willing to look for these silver linings and hidden gems. And so point number 2, oh my God, is this not beautiful? Be able to leave the relationship when I want to. Holy fuck, man. Like, if going through a messy, painful relationship and a messy breakup, which his was for her and for him, if going through that teaches you, oh, wow, like I don't have to let it get to that point. If it gets to the point where we're both just straight up like hating each other and it's just painful for both of us, I can leave. What a beautiful fucking dose of abundance mentality that is, and outcome independence, and realizing, holy shit, I don't have to be needy. This person isn't the only person on the entire planet that would like me or love me. And if we're not a good fit, hey, that's beautiful. Namaste. I can just say, hey, I'm not a good fit for you. You're not a good fit for me. Why don't we go and find people that might be a better fit for ourselves, or go be single, which is something that he's done because he's been focused on raising the kids for the last, however many years. So be able to leave the relationship when I want to. And then the third one there, maintain independence in a relationship. My God, is that not beautiful? And I talk a lot about this. And if you search on my channel for the word independence, this is probably the most relevant video. So it's called Always Keep Your Independence in a Relationship. And that applies to men, that applies to women. Work on your self-love a little bit. If you like who you are as a person, then you won't rely on the other person to make you happy and complete. I think we all know this, like, logically, we know this on some level, but actually building that independence takes a bit of work, obviously. And so that's something that he's learned. I can just build my independence and be my own complete happy person, because he definitely wasn't. I think he would be the first person to say that when they first met, because they met when they were young. And yeah, fair enough. Like, you haven't had enough time to build yourself into a complete independent adult yet. Like, any of you that are listening that are like 18 to 25, maybe even 18 to 30, I know a lot of you feel very like lost, and you're like, I don't have any confidence. My self-esteem is just not that great. Dude, I don't have a ton of friends. I don't know what I'm doing with women. A lot of you women feel the same thing. You don't know what you're doing with dating. I don't know how to make a business. Bro, I don't know anything. I promise it gets better if you just keep working on yourself a little bit each day, each week, each month, each year. It starts to add up. And then by the time you're in your 30s, or maybe even more so by the time you're in your 40s, you do really start to feel like, okay, I'm an independent, complete person. So I guess all of this is me just saying, I'm trying to give you guys and girls some hope that if you feel a bit needy and dependent and you feel like you get very caught up in like falling in love with someone and then having your heart broken, I get that. Like, trust me, that was me. Holy shit, that was me when I was like 18 to 25. I promise that you can build independence. It's just a practice. It's just a daily thing. Work on your own self-love. Write a list of 50 things about yourself that are lovable. That's like the best way I've ever found to build self-esteem. Read a lot of books on stoicism. Have an independent life. And if you don't, that's fine. Just build it. Like, go make some friends. Go have some hobbies. Go have shit that you care about that has nothing to do with your partner. That's independence summed up in a nutshell. Have a bunch of shit that you care about that has nothing to do with your partner. And you share it with your partner. Like, there's so many things that I do that has nothing to do with Imi, but I tell her about them. And she has like 5 freaking hobbies, maybe like 3 hobbies that I just am not even remotely a part of. She does pole dancing and she's been doing that for years and she loves that. I've only ever been to one of her performances ever. She rock climbs a hell of a lot. I've only ever rock climbed with her like 3 times ever in my life. She loves to go hiking. I've only ever hiked with her like, okay, we go on long walks all the time, but we've only ever like done a proper hike like 5 times ever. And so she has this side of her. I have a side of myself. And so you don't have to keep them separate, but like just stuff that you really deeply care about, that if your partner wasn't there or the relationship ended, you would still be doing that stuff and you would still care about it. So that's what we mean by independence. And I think something that I like to point out with independence is independence doesn't mean pushing the other person away and putting up a wall and saying like, you need to give me space. I'm independent. Like, that's not what it means. It's about having your own stuff that you care about deeply, and then you can share that with a partner. So it's not about pushing them away. It's about turning towards yourself. It's not about saying, go away, I'm spending too much time with you, we're too needy for each other. No, it's about saying, okay, I'm going to spend more time with me. I'm going to be with myself and love myself and like who I am when I look in the mirror, and then I'm going to share that with someone else. Speaking of sharing, the next thing that my client learned was I can be better at communicating how I feel openly. And he has made leaps and bounds in this. He's one of my longest running coaching clients, actually. He just keeps sticking around and paying me more money, which I'm super grateful for. He's been doing coaching for like 2 years or something at this point. Like, he's been in there for a long time. And he's really good at communicating. Like, holy fuck, is he good at communicating? Like, openly, honestly, raw, authentic. Like, he will just fucking pour out his heart and soul. What's really beautiful is through the coaching, we've been able to help him do that more with his kids as well. And his kids are young. His kids are like 7 and 8 or something. And he's been so good at being honest with them. There's been so many times when he's come to us as a group and he's like, man, I don't know how to get my kids to do this. And like, they just won't listen to me and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, why don't you communicate with them? And he's like, I'm telling them to clean their room. And I was like, that's not communicating. That's you yelling at someone. Even if you're not yelling, that's you just being a dictator. Communication is about explaining shit. Why do you want them to clean your room? Like, clean their room. Why does that matter to you? Why is a clean room beneficial to them? You have given them no reason why they would want to clean their fucking room. And you haven't asked them why they don't want to clean the room. There's probably really good reasons why they don't want to clean the room. And so he sat down with them. Like, this is an actual real example that happened. He sat down with them and was like, why don't you guys want to like clean up and brush your teeth and go to bed? And they're like, because we really love playing. And it's really fun to play with our toys. And it's like, yeah, that actually makes sense. There's so many times I stay up and play video games, even though, I'm going to regret this in the morning. I'm going to be tired. But I really like playing with the fucking video games. Or like, how many times have we all been out drinking or partying or some shit? You check the clock and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking be tired in the morning. This is going to hurt. And you're like, YOLO, let's fucking, I know no one says YOLO anymore. Let's drink another fucking beer and just go hard. So like, your kids are doing exactly the same thing you're doing. Anyway. So he sat down and had these conversations with them. And guess what? Now they listen to him because he explains why he would like them to go to bed. They explain to him why they don't want to, and then they can meet in the middle and figure it out together. So he's a god at communicating. What's funny is he's going to listen to this. I'm going to send him this video. And as he listens to this, I know you're listening right now, my friend. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're going to say, I'm not that good at communicating, but hey, listen, fuck you. You're really good at communicating. And this applies to so many of you. Hey, let me get like semi-serious for a second. I'm not going to be that serious, but how often are we like our own harshest critic? I do the same thing, guys. Like my brain will want to just always be like, or often be like, I'm not a very good mentor. Like I have had that thought in my head like 1,000 times. I'm not very good at changing your lives. I'm not very good at YouTube. I'm not very good at coaching. And then it's like, bro, all of the fucking people that keep telling you, hey, thanks, man, you changed my life, would disagree with you. And it's like, yeah, but my brain says I'm right. And so we're often our harshest critics. Hey, we're like, I have high expectations for myself and I need to hit them. And so I think it can be worth or it can be nice to hear it from other people that we are good at something. So, my friend, you know who you are. You are really good at communicating, and chances are a lot of you are a hell of a lot better. Let's just say all of you are better at the things that you think you suck at than you are. That was a terrible freaking sentence, but you get what I mean. You're better at things than you think you are. Let's just say it like that. Or I could phrase it like this: it's so easy for the rest of us, like me as your mentor or your fucking YouTube person or your coach or whatever. It's easier for me to see the potential in you compared to you seeing it in yourself. I have the same thing, by the way. All of my coaches and mentors are like, Andy, I can see the potential in you. You could be making 10 times more money than this. You could be helping 100 times more people than this. I literally had a big call with my friend Ravi yesterday. For 3 hours, he basically said, bro, like, why don't you have like 1 million subscribers, bro? You could be helping way more people. And I was like, yeah, but like, so hey, we're all our own harshest critics at times. All right, what else has my client, my friend, learned? He has learned that he could ask her, and when he says her, I guess he's sort of referring not so much to his ex, there is that too, but like maybe more for the next woman, the next date that he goes on, the next person that he's with. I could ask the next woman about how she feels about certain things. Yeah, man, how often in dating and relationships do we mind read and just not even ask the other person how they might be feeling? We just assume, like, it's just an efficient way of doing things. That's why we do it. Like, we don't assume because we're bad people or because we're judging or something. It's just like you make assumptions. Like, it's something that you almost need to learn, is that you're allowed to ask the other person what they're thinking or feeling. You're allowed to ask them what do they want. You don't have to guess what they want. And I talk about this in dating and all of that. On this channel and in this community, we don't use like pickup artist stuff, like trying to read her body language and trying to read social cues and like, does she like me? Does she not? It's like, get rid of that shit, man. Just ask her. Just be like, yo, do you like me? Just be like autistically honest and be like, yo, do you like me? Because I kind of like you. And if you don't like me, that's fine. Just like, let me know. Like, how do you feel? And then she'll fucking tell you, you get your answer immediately. And so being more open to this like communication, and I guess just asking people like, yo, what do you want? You're on a date, like, hey, I'm having fun. I'm really into you. You're incredibly sexy. Like, do you want to get out of here and come back to my place? And then if she's like, well, sure, but like why? And you'd be like, well, look, I'll be honest. Like, there's people around, so I don't want to be too like, dirty. But like, fucking hell, woman. Like, I'm a man. You're a woman. Sure, you can figure out what goes in between there. But like, holy fuck, like, yeah, I'd love to go back and make out with you and fool around and see what happens. Like, do you want to do some of that shit? Then she'll say yes or no, or maybe, or next time, or can we talk about it? Or, oh, I have work in the morning. Can we figure out logistics? Or like, what stuff would we do? I just don't want to commit to something too much. Like, I don't want to go too far. And like, but you just talk about it. And so realizing that you're allowed to just communicate, which is something I think he's learned from the coaching program a lot. Like, we've taught him, bro, just talk to your kids about everything. And he has done a little bit of dating. We've said the same shit. Like, he's recently started doing more dating. And we've said, like, bro, just be honest with these women. And so it's been freaking empowering for him. Like, so empowering for him to just say to these women, like, before he meets them or on the first date, hey, look, I'm just looking for something casual. I got kids. And so, you don't have to meet them, but like, that's my priority. And so I'm just looking for something sexual, casual, like friends with benefits, like ongoing. Like, I want us to, like each other and be friends and shit, but like casual. How does that suit you? It's been so freaking empowering for him to just say that and to state his desires and his wants and see if the other person wants that. And lots of the women have, as I'm sure you could imagine, said, yeah, that's what I'm looking for too. That's great. Thank you for being so honest. And he's like, whoa, bingo. Holy shit. Can I just say what I want? Can I just tell her you're hot? Can I kiss you? And it's like, yeah, you can. Can I just say, like, I want this relationship style, and if she wants that, she'll tell me? Yeah, you can. Like, you don't have to beat around the bush. So that's been life-changing for him. I think the next two are kind of the same thing. I want to have sex the way I want, and I want to have threesomes. Yeah, how often in like sex, dating, relationships, maybe we'll just talk about sex for a second, do we like not state our desires because we're afraid of like, what if the other person thinks that that's too kinky or perverted or weird or not good or whatever? And we hide our true selves, and we're basically playing not to lose. You know, we're like, I don't want to lose. I don't want them to judge me. So I won't say what I want. I won't even try and win. I won't go for what I want because I might lose. And it's like, yeah, but if you don't go for what you want, you won't get it. Like if you don't say, hey, I'm into this kink, or hey, do you want to try this type of sex with me? Or hey, I kind of want to slow down and just make gentle love tonight. Are you up for that? Or hey, tonight I feel like being fucking kinky. And if you're in a long-term relationship, you know, you don't super have to have these conversations, but more for like as you're building a relationship. Actually, I take that back. Even in a long-term relationship, Imogen and I talk all the time about what it is that we want. And so if she doesn't want something, she'll tell me. If I do want something, I'll tell her. So yeah, it still applies in a long-term relationship. But the point that I'm making is how often do we hold back our true desires? And we're like, what if I get judged? It's like, yeah, then you'll get judged. Do you really want to spend time with a person that judges you anyway? So wouldn't you rather figure that out sooner rather than later? That's why I talk about autistic honesty. That's why I say be upfront and honest and say what you want, say what you're looking for. And so you can immediately find out if the person doesn't want that same thing. And if they don't want that same thing, you say, namaste, that's beautiful. I hope you find what you're looking for. I'm going to go find what I'm looking for. Like, again, wouldn't you rather figure that out sooner rather than later? And chances are, when it comes to sex especially, the other person is going to be into your kink or at least willing to experiment with it. And if they're not, someone else will be. Or they might not be into that kink or that sexual act that you want to do, but there's another sexual act that they will want to do with you that you're into and they're into. So this is why I talk about write a sexual bucket list. Write a list of all the different kinky stuff you want to try, even if it's just very vanilla stuff like, I'd love to just try cuddling with our clothes on and make out for an hour and not have sex and see what that feels like. Or I'd like to try a different sexual position. I want to try doggy style. Or it can be really kinky shit. Like I want to have a threesome. I want you to pee on me. I want to go have sex in public. Make sure there's no one around that can see, obviously, and follow local laws, blah, blah, blah. You get what I mean. And so write a sexual bucket list of all the things you want to try and then get your partner or the person that you're dating casually to write all of their stuff down. And then you exchange lists. So you look at the lists together and you go through it and you go, okay, I don't think I'm into that. Oh, that one. No, I definitely don't want to do that one. Oh, that one. Are you really into that? And the other person will go, yeah, I'm into that. And you're like, holy shit, woman. Damn, girl, that's hot. And she's like, really? And you're like, yeah, we're going to fucking do that. Let's figure out how we do that. We got to do that. That's fucking hot. And you go through the list and you know, the ones that you don't want to do, that's fine. You just say, hey, that's beautiful. I don't judge you for that, but that's not really something I want to do. I don't think I'd find that sexy. The ones that I do find sexy, holy shit, we're doing. And you'll see that you have a lot of overlap with each other's lists. You will have a lot of stuff on your list that is on the other person's list. And you can go, oh shit, that's the stuff we're doing. And so isn't that a really cool, exciting, fun thing you get to do? And by the way, I've talked about this a lot. You know, there's a concept of like retention, which is a funny word for it, but basically like what things can I do to make it more likely that someone will want to stick around and keep dating me and maybe build a relationship or just keep having sex with me? Like, what do I do in myself to improve so that more people want to stick around and fuck me or date me or love me or whatever? And one of the biggest things that I've noticed that has really helped me over the years, I've been doing this for like, 8 or 9 or 10 years, is writing a sexual bucket list for me. I already have one written, obviously, and getting the other person to write theirs, and then they share theirs with me, and I share mine with them. And then what I say is, okay, this is beautiful. I love all of these. Here's the ones that I love on your list that I'm into. So now there's mutual overlap. We're going to do these ones. Every time you and I meet up, we're going to pick 1 or 2 or maybe 3 things from this list, and we're going to explore them. And so every time you see me, we're going to pick something new from your bucket list. Do you have any idea how much that makes people want to keep fucking seeing you? Because you are the guy or the girl who is non-judgmental, open-minded, and will help them explore shit that they've probably never told other people, or they've told people some of it, but they haven't shared all of it in a fucking list like this. Do you know how much that helps with people wanting to, like retention, people wanting to keep seeing you? Now they have a reason to see you each week. Like an incredibly strong, exciting reason. And you can talk about it in the lead up. Like if you're going to see each other 3 days from now, you've organized like you're going to come over, we're going to try some of this shit. In those 3 days leading up to it, you can talk about it. You can talk dirty. You can be like, tell me how much you want this. Tell me how fucking hot this is going to be. You can drive each other insane leading up to it. And so that is like such a beautiful reason to keep seeing someone because they're helping you explore your sexual bucket list. You can be that person for other people. So what a beautiful thing this is that he's learned. I get to learn to have sex the way I want. And I get to help her have sex the way that she wants. And I get to have a threesome. So that's something that he's wanted for a long time. And he just never really gave himself permission for. And I was the same. I thought about threesomes for like my whole life. I think a lot of people do, men and women, by the way. So there's been many sexual studies done on like psychology of sex. And do you know what the number one most common fantasy that men and women have? Group sex or like sex with more than one partner. So like that could be a threesome, that could be an orgy, that could be partner swapping, that could be a glory hole, a gangbang, an orgy, like any of that stuff. But just like sex with more than one person at the same time, like in the same room. That is the most common fantasy above every other fantasy, the most common one. And yet most of us think it's not possible. That's how I felt. We don't do what it would take to make it happen. We think that it's something that other people deserve, but not us. We don't even know where to begin. Like, I can't tell you how many girls I've had a threesome with. And when I ask them about it, they're like, I've always been into this. And I'm like, oh, how come you've never done it then? And they're just like, where the fuck, how do I do this? What do I just walk up to guys on the street and be like, hi, can I have a threesome with you? No, then I'll look like a slut. I'm not going to bring it up to my boyfriends, like my past boyfriends, because they'll think I'm a slut. And like, where am I tell it to my female friends and, when we're drunk and we're confessing stuff like this, but like they don't know how to do it either. So like, how am I supposed to make it happen? So of course I'm going to do it with you, Andy, because you're the first person who told me this was possible and showed me how to do it and then had people that I could do this with. Like you made it happen for me. So threesomes are one of those things I think a lot of us fantasize about, or like, having sex with more than one person at a time. And so a lot of the time people will come to the coaching program and it's something they'll never think about. Like they've never thought about threesomes, and they will see someone else in the coaching group have a threesome, or they will see me do it. And they'll go, holy crap, that seems exciting. And I'm like, yeah, is this something you want to pursue? And with just the littlest bit of permission, like it's you just giving yourself permission, they'll go and make it happen within like a month. And they'll be like, holy crap, that was amazing. I can't believe I did that. And it's like, yeah, because you just bothered to ask. So yeah, that's beautiful too. I love the next one that he learned here. I have learned to prioritize my happiness as well. My God, guys and girls, if you guys and girls could just get this, that you are allowed to prioritize your happiness. And that doesn't mean at the cost of someone else's happiness. Like, obviously, that's the whole point of this channel. We're here to give as much as we can to everyone else. We want to make the world a slightly happier place when we leave it. We want to leave people better than we found them. There's that beautiful Mother Teresa quote. Spread love wherever you go. Let nobody come to you without leaving a little bit better off. That's kind of our mindset, right? That's what we're here to build. And you can obviously do that while making yourself incredibly fucking happy. In fact, it's easier. If you prioritize your happiness and say, okay, I want to look after me, rather than saying prioritize my happiness, maybe it makes more sense if you say it like this. I want to prioritize my own self-love. Like if I'm going to go out there and love some other woman or love some other man or love sex or love my friends, I'm sure all of you love your friends, you love your family, you love your hobbies, you love self-improvement. Like you have stuff you love or people you love. What if I love myself? What if I try just being nice to myself? And that can be a challenge. I said before, we're often our own harshest critics. Me too. I do that too. It's because we have high expectations for ourselves. But what if we work on that self-love stuff a little bit and practice giving to ourselves? That can be a beautiful thing. So what a great realization that is. Do you know how life-changing that can be for a relationship? If you say, you know what, I'm not going to neglect my happiness. I'm going to love myself as much as I love the other person. Fucking hell, man, that's life-changing. He wants to also show appreciation for the things that she does. Yeah, gratitude. So we've been helping him a lot with gratitude. And I obviously talk a lot about gratitude on this channel with all of you. And just the little things, man. It's just saying to your partner or the person that you're dating casually, hey, I appreciate that. They cook you dinner and you say, hey, thanks for that. This was beautiful. I appreciate that. Or they come over, they have sex, you walk them back to the car or whatever, they leave. You text them afterwards and you go, that was amazing. That was so hot. You're so good at that. Like I had a blast. Like I can't wait to see you again. Just like the little things, like the little bits of gratitude or appreciation or like, hey, that was cool. or telling people that you're proud of them, for instance. Like, you know, even if you're just in a casual relationship and someone says to you, like, you know how I've hated my job for a while, I quit my job. If you can just say, like, holy shit, that's amazing. Like, that's genuinely really fucking cool. Like, claps to you. Like, it can be really scary to leave a job. Like, I'm fucking proud of you. Like, you go, girl, or you go, guy. That's like amazing. You have no idea how much people's faces just light up and they're like, thank you. Thank you. That makes me feel amazing. That's obviously what coaching is. Like, that's all I do in coaching. I mean, I do more than that, but like, that's a big part of coaching is like, bro, this is amazing. This little tiny thing that you think doesn't matter, I think it matters. I think you did something amazing. Holy shit. And then that momentum starts to build. So gratitude, appreciation, just telling people that you think they're doing a good job, that counts for a hell of a lot. Another thing he learned is to be the leader. Yeah, he's definitely a leader now. He's obviously stepped up as a father. You know, he's a single father. He's like raising them completely on his own. That's not true. His parents are helping him, but you get what I mean. Like in terms of custody, he has sole custody of the kids. And so he's absolutely stepped up and becomes the leader. He does an amazing job of that. But what a beautiful thing to learn. And he only really learned that from this relationship breaking up with his ex, you know, the marriage falling apart and getting divorced. So, what a beautiful gift she has given him. And that's kind of the point of this whole podcast, right? And I'm probably going to do a part 2, by the way, because there is so much shit here. We're probably going to have a 2-part or 3-part series here. But part of the reason I wanted to do these 2 or 3 videos was to show that even in a messy relationship, this was a very messy divorce. She said a lot of things that were unkind. And I don't know what he has said to her in the past. He might have said some unkind, I think he did. But I've seen screenshots of some unkind things that she has said to him. She's going through a lot of hurt and pain. Fair enough. And she's lashing out, right? And so it's a very messy divorce with kids and a lot of hateful things said to each other and all of that sort of stuff. And they're both trying to do their best, but it's been messy. It's been painful for both of them. Through that, there is still beautiful silver linings. Look at this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the shit that I'm talking about when I talk about playing to win. You know my play to win video course? This is the shit that I'm talking about. Finding the silver linings in things. And instead of saying this divorce is awful, it's bad, it's terrible, it hurts, obviously there's been pain there. There's been suffering there. But rather than saying this was bad, she's a bad person, I did bad things too, I'm bad, she's bad, we're both bad, divorce is bad, it's bad for the kids. Rather than just focusing on saying it's bad, he's been able to look at all of these beautiful things and say, I'm grateful to her. And then you can start to see your ex not as the enemy, but as your perfect fucking teacher. Look at all this shit that she has taught him. She's taught him all of this shit. And there's more. There is so much more than this. Look at this. Look at this. We're going to talk about this in future episodes. There is so much more. What the fuck? Like, look at all this. This is insane. There's like 100 things here. Holy shit. My boy did the work writing a lot of stuff, didn't he? Absolute legend. That's incredible. And he's already at the point where now when he talks about her, he's coming from a place of compassion. He's like, she taught me a lot. And she's not at that place yet. Maybe she will be one day. Maybe she never will be. It's okay. That's not really his business. His business is just to focus on himself and how he views his ex or the mother of his children. And he's viewing her through the lens of compassion. He's not perfect with that, but he does a fucking phenomenal job. And he can view her through the lens of gratitude because of all of these silver linings. But you'll only know these silver linings if you go looking for them. And most people don't. Like after a breakup, most people are like, that sucked, it's awful, it's painful, she sucks, I suck, it's awful, she's to blame, or I'm to blame, or fuck her, or fuck me, or, you know, any of that sort of blaming stuff. And people don't really learn a lot of the time. They don't learn, like, what could I do different? What they often do is just carry baggage, blame the other person, say she was a piece of shit or he was a piece of shit, and then they don't learn anything from it. And so if we're courageous enough and willing, it's really just willing, you don't have to be courageous, just be willing to look for these silver linings, which again is the point of the Play to Win video course, how to look for these silver linings. And there's a link in the description below if you want to grab that video course. When we can look for these silver linings, wow, we don't have any enemies anymore. Like, there's no fucking enemies. Like, look at this. She thinks that he's the enemy. Like, she's definitely treating him like the enemy. But he's treating her like a teacher. Look at all this shit. He's like, damn. And I scrolled down before so you could see all the other stuff. He's like, damn, this woman's my perfect teacher. And that's how he talks about her now. That's how he speaks to us about her. And that's how he probably, I'm assuming, I'm pretty certain on this, that's how he speaks to his children about her. Can you imagine how, and I want to get serious for a second, so we're going to go big, boys. Can you imagine how much this is, and I don't think he realizes this. He's watching right now. So you're watching right now. I don't think you realize how much this probably is changing the lives of your kids. Like, think about it, everyone listening. Imagine if you're those kids, that 7-year-old and that 8-year-old, little boy, little girl, and daddy is angry. Imagine if daddy was angry and he's like, fuck your mother, she's a bitch, because that's kind of how she's talking. She's talking like that. You know, I don't think she talks like that to them, but she's talking like that to him. And imagine if he just did that too. Imagine if he was like, yeah, fuck that bitch. And Imogen, you know, went through all of that stuff. Imogen's parents were like that. They didn't mean to be. They were both sort of suffering and going through a lot of their own stuff. But at times they did sort of hold, they didn't mean to, but like the kids got caught in the crossfire. I think that would be the nicest way of saying it. And that's just such a common thing in divorce, isn't it? We're so hurt. We're so angry. We feel so betrayed. We feel like we let ourselves down. We feel like the other person let us down. We feel all of these strong emotions. And then we just fucking start shooting, don't we? And we think we're defending. We think we're like, no, you attacked me. You hurt me. You did this. I'm just defending myself. But we're not. Like, if we're honest, we're attacking. And I've done that at times too. In my relationship with Imogen, there has been a lot of times when I've started defending and then I catch myself and I'm like, this isn't defending. I'm basically attacking. I'm calling it defending. I'm saying she did something to me, but she didn't. She was just trying to have a conversation. I started defending. And so imagine what this would be like if he was like that with his ex. Imagine what it would be like for his kids. If he was like, fuck that bitch, she's a bitch, you know, she did these things, and I won't get into details, but she did these things, she's a bitch, and I wasn't perfect either, but you know what, she's a fucking bitch. Imagine if the kids have to hear that, or even if you never say it to them. They're not dumb. Kids are really good at picking up on energy and how you feel about someone. They're not fucking retarded. We can all tell when someone else hates someone. And we can definitely tell as kids. We just get a sense that, like, dad thinks mom's a bad person. Imagine how much that might affect their psyche. Imagine the trust issues they might have, especially his son. Imagine the trust issues that you might develop if your dad says, fuck women, they're all bitches, they're all just like your mother, or even just has that energy and never says it. Kind of grow up with daddy issues, wouldn't he? And mummy issues, I guess. And daughter might grow up with mummy or daddy issues. But he's not like that. And maybe he's been like that at times, I don't know. But he's definitely not like that now. Again, he's not perfect. I know you're listening to this, my friends, so you know you're not perfect. I know you're not perfect, and that's okay. But imagine what it is like and how life-changing it is for those kids to hear their dad talk about gratitude when it comes to their mother. To hear their dad say, hey, you know, your mum was just doing her best, and she just had some pain, and she was suffering a little bit, and she wasn't always good at, you know, certain things, and she did her best and I did my best and I wasn't perfect. And hey, you kids don't have to be perfect because mummy's not perfect. Daddy's definitely not perfect. You guys don't have to be perfect. It's okay if you guys struggle. It's okay if sometimes you say something that's not kind to someone else. You can just make up for it. You can say sorry. You can fix it. You can do something about it, or you can just try and be better. Like, I'm not perfect and I'm trying to be better. Your mum is not perfect and she was trying to be better. Imagine what a fucking life lesson that is for his kids. Or to hear him say, hey, your mum taught me a lot. I know we're not together anymore, but like, damn, your mother taught me a lot. She taught me about independence. She taught me about self-love. She taught me how to like myself. And now I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. Like, isn't that a gift? Like, every time we do something nice for ourselves and we're compassionate and loving, we can thank mum. We can say like, hey, mum, thank you for that. And she's not in their lives anymore. Like, she's kind of she's cut herself off from them as well. Like, she kind of doesn't really want to be in the picture with them or with him. So that's why I said he's like, you know, sole custody. Like, she's going through her own shit. But they can just have loving thoughts towards her now. She's not some enemy, you know, over there who left the family and she's a bitch and all of that. No, she's a person that did her best and she taught us all of these learning lessons. Again, is this not an insane look on the screen? If you're listening, you know, check out the video right now. Look at this. This is all the gifts that she has given him that he can pass on to the kids. And this is just scratching the surface, believe me. This is, he just wrote these, like, there'll be hundreds more. Like, he knows there's way more than this. We could spend a lifetime thinking of all the gifts that she has given him And so how could we ever say that's a bad relationship? How could we say she's a bad person? She gave him all of this. That's a gift. She's generous. She's a fucking angel as far as I'm concerned. And so we don't have to go around life saying that person's my enemy, that person is bad, that person is evil, that person screwed me over. No, fuck all that, man. We're allowed to look at people with compassion and love and gratitude, even if in the moment we fucking hate them. You know, it's fine to fucking hate someone for a while, but if we can just sit with that for a while and process that and talk that out and all of that, and then be brave enough and willing enough to say, what if I sit down and figure some stuff out? What if I sit down and think of a gratitude list of all the things I'm grateful to this person for and write all that down? I'll be very honest with all of you. I probably wasn't going to say this anytime soon, but like whatever. I love all of you and I like to be very honest. I've told I've told all of my coaching clients this, and I've told my friends. So Emmy and I are going through this right now. She's in the process literally right now of figuring out if she wants to continue this relationship. Over the last few years, she's changed some of the things, or she's discovered herself and some of the things that she might want. And I'm going to try and say this in a very short way. Otherwise, understand there's so much more nuance to this than what I'm about to say. But one of the big things for her is she isn't sure if she wants monogamy or an open relationship. And that's one of the things that we're both sort of talking through and figuring out. We've been figuring this out for about the last 6 months. And for me, an open relationship is something that is just that's what I've always wanted. I made that very clear to her from the moment we met, literally before we met. I make it very clear to everyone, this is who I am. This is what I want. If you're ever not okay with that, that's beautiful. That's fine. We can just go separate ways, figure out what to do. I'll have love in my heart for you and all of that. But this is important to me. And she was completely happy with that when we first met. We met when she was 18. But over the years, as she's figured herself out a lot and grown a lot more independent and all of that, all the things that I've wanted for her, I said to her early on in the relationship, you might not know if an open relationship is what you want. And right now you're just saying yes, because yeah, I'm 18. I don't know any better. But if you ever get to a point where this isn't what you want, just let me know. And I can be a beautiful chapter in your life, and then you move on to the next chapter and you'll be beautifully happy. You'll cry, we'll grieve, all of that. We both will, but I promise it will be beautiful. And so I told her that from the beginning. I've told her that a million times. And so she's in the process of that now. Do I want to keep building this? How do I feel about the open relationship? How do I, Emmy, feel about sleeping with other guys? How do I feel about sleeping with other girls? How do I feel about Andy sleeping with other girls? Do we want to only do that together? She's figuring all this stuff out. And again, this is the short, condensed version. There is so much more to it than that. And it's not just that she's figuring out. She's figuring out if she wants to be part of the business or if she would like to go and build her own career. She's figuring out if she wants to live where I want to live, or if she wants to live back where her family. There's a million things she's figuring out for herself, right? So there's more to it than just one thing she's figuring out. But the point of me bringing this up is I have been taking a page out of my coaching client's book here. And I've even told him recently that he inspired me by writing this list. I'd already started writing my own list, but he inspired me to write even more on it. I've been thinking of all the stuff that I'm grateful to Emmy for. And maybe I will do a video sometime soon. I will do a big list of here's all the things that I learned from her. Because there are billions of things. And technically, I've already done this many times actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, shit, man, I've done this a lot of times. Okay, so this one here, how I fell in love with Emmy, 6-year anniversary, some of our history, 3 things dating Emmy for 6 years taught me. Andy completely changed in how Emmy became okay with that. Emmy completely changed in how Andy became okay with that. At the start, she's yeah, I want an open relationship. This is great. This suits me great. And then now it's I don't know if I want that. And she's changed in a billion other ways. So that we talked about that. And we actually touched on that in that video a little bit. Reflections on 4 years with Emmy. This one a little bit, we talked about that. How Andy, so she did one, how Andy changed my life. And somewhere in here, I can't see it right now, but there's one about how, here you go, this one here. I think in this one, I talked about how Emmy changed my life in all the different ways. And this one, God, we've talked about it a lot. How we never fight in our, fucking hell, man, that's relevant now. Do you know how nice it is to be able to just talk about this shit calmly with each other instead of being you fucking bitch, why are you changing your mind? Why are you leaving me? All of that sort of stuff. So this one as well, she talked about what it's been like dating me and how it's helped, because I basically coached her and she's coached me. So the point that I'm making here, with bringing all of this up is I have written, and I'm still adding to it all the time, a list of gratitude for her. And so instead of saying, I'm in a painful, like I could be sitting here right now feeling sad, and sometimes I do feel grief. I'll be very honest about that. But I could be sitting here going like, oh my God, like 7 years, like, is she going to leave me? Is she going to stay? And I don't know yet. She doesn't know either. We're still talking about it, right? This is very much, I'm giving you the like raw live update of where we're at right now. Like 6 months from now, we could be doing a video called how we got through a tough period in our life and figured out that we do want to be together. Or I could be sitting here 6 months from now doing a video saying how I'm coping with grieving and missing my girlfriend and how I have love for her and I wish her all the best. Like, I don't know. Neither does she. But I could be sitting here right now fucking grieving and sad and how could she do this? How could I do this? Maybe I should have done something better. Maybe she should have changed. Maybe, fuck, who's to blame? Like, this sucks. Like, how could this happen? Like, 7 years and I don't know if we can make it work. Like, or she's not loyal. I'm not loyal. If I was loyal, I'd be monogamous. If she was loyal, she would just stay with me. Like, I could be getting really emotional about it. But instead, because I've been, I guess, willing, I won't say I'm courageous, but willing enough to say, what are the silver linings? And I've done that our whole relationship. So has she. It's something that we've practiced the whole time with gratitude and appreciation and all of that. But I can sit in that now and be like, I'm just really grateful to her. She's given me a lot, like more than you guys could ever imagine. I've done I just showed you like 10 videos talking about how she's changed my life. And if I'm honest, that like barely scratches the surface. Like that's like 0.1% of the ways in which she has improved me as a human being. And I have improved her as a human being. Like this relationship has been, if I died right now, I'd just be like, I did everything I wanted to do. 7 years with her was like, I'm fucking good, brothers and sisters. Like I'm good after that. Building this coaching business as well, like getting to know all of you, getting to help you and you help me. Like I'm good. Even if I do nothing else for the rest of my life, I'm good. What a beautiful life. Thank you. Like I'm ready to go. I saw the main event. This was great. I can leave happy. And I'm only 38. I get another fucking 40 years of this. And I'm going to do everything I possibly can in that time to give as much to all of you, to share what I feel with all of you, to get you to feel even just a little bit of the feelings that I feel when I think about my life. Like I want you all to have the same fucking life or some of what I have, blah, blah, blah. Like you might not want to do the same things I do. Point is, in this giant fucking 46-minute ramble, 47 minutes, I appreciate her a lot. And so having gratitude really, really, really shows you that the other person is never your enemy. Like no one's our fucking enemy. We just like to point at people and be like, they're bad, they're the enemy. We should go to war against that country, or we should go to war against that person, or I need to defend myself against that person. I need to be careful around that person. I should be careful around women in case they break my heart. I can't trust men. I need to be careful around them because they're all fuckboys and they're going to break your heart. They lie to you. Men lie, women lie, they betray you. I need to be careful. Be careful about being careful. Byron Katie has a really good saying, don't be too careful, you might hurt yourself. And I think that's really relevant. So I think I'll finish up there. I'm definitely going to do a part 2 because like I said, there is like so much more. Like, damn, boy, like he wrote so much shit here. And I would like to go through all the rest of this because I think it's really beautiful stuff. But yeah, man, I appreciate him. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate Emmy. I appreciate all my friends. I appreciate the universe. What else do I appreciate? I appreciate this phone. Isn't this cool? Samsung Galaxy S21, I think, because I like to hang on to my phones for a long time and upgrade every fucking 5 years. I appreciate this book. I appreciate this remote control so I can turn my air conditioning unit on. I don't have to like go and push a button. How insane is that? I appreciate this. This is a water bottle. It means I can have water. I can just go like, and I have a drinking problem. Look, I can't even drink. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, this is derailed. Whatever, we're going to finish up. I love all of you. I appreciate all of you. Why am I so fucking wet? I appreciate you guys. Like a lot. Actually, I'm full of shit. No, before you go. Okay, wait, no, stay. Come back. Before you go, I forgot to mention, okay, so for the next 25 days, I just looked it up. So for the next 25 days, I have a big coaching discount, big sale. Holy shit. Grab your balls, grab your penis, start jerking off because this is crazy. If you're a woman, start rubbing your clit. For the next 25 days, $2,000 off the price of the coaching. And you will get an extra 4 weeks. And we have payment plans. You can take a payment plan for that. I'm happy to jump on a free call with you and talk through any questions you have, any concerns, any fears. I basically give you a bit of free coaching and help you, and then just ask you, do you want to do this thing or not? Do you want the coaching or not? So that is just for the next 25 days only. There's a link down below. Just mention this deal when you sign up. Even if you forget to mention it, I'll give you the deal anyway, obviously. So just for the next 25 days. I love you all very much. I'm very wet. I'm going to go get a towel. Sometimes I take these jokes like way too fucking far in these videos, don't I? Like pouring water on myself. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is that? I'm just trying to make you guys and girls laugh, but like, that's just silly. That's just really inappropriate. That's just silly. I was just being silly. I shouldn't have done that.